Today we are going to look at the best armored vehicles in GTA 5. A few weeks ago we looked at the most armored vehicles, but that doesn't necessarily mean they are the best. Also, at the end of the video I will go through all the technicalities about armor in this game, so stick around till the end of the video. So in order from good to best, let's look at some armored vehicles. One great vehicle, which you kind of see rarely, is the Barage, which can take 14 homing rockets. It's not as armored as other vehicles on this list, but it has few features which make up for it. It has insanely good upgradability, having lots of different upgrade options which are not only cosmetic, but they can add extra armor for the two gunners at the back. And yes, I said two gunners. You have a center gunner which has 360 degrees of vision, and you can choose between machine gun and minigun options here. And you have a rear gunner which only has 180 degrees of vision, but it not only has the machine gun and minigun options, it also has an option to choose grenade launcher, which, as the name tells, launches grenades. The grenades are a really good weapon if you have people chasing you and overall to explode things around you. It also drives well with quite good top speed and handling abilities, and honestly it just looks cool. One bad thing about it is that the driver is a bit exposed and anyone from the front or sides can gun you down. I chose to have this middle window plate which adds some armor, which is better than nothing. Now let's move to the better vehicles with better armor. Next up is the Insurgent. It has two variants, the regular Insurgent and the Insurgent Pick-Up Custom, which has a gun on the roof of it, and both of them can withstand the same 27 homing rockets. It is good when vehicle is armored so that it can withstand over 20 rockets, since the Oppressor Mark II can only hold 20 rockets and it won't be able to shoot you down without refilling his rockets. The regular Insurgent has 6 seats, 4 inside and 2 on the sides. It is quite fast for a big and heavy vehicle, and it handles like one, meaning through corners you will be a bit top heavy and won't be able to make sharp turns while at speed. Sadly, it doesn't have a great upgradability, meaning you only get to really change the color of the vehicle and the wheels. Now the Insurgent Pickup is more interesting and better. It has more upgrades like the visual armor upgrades and most importantly the top gun. You can have the regular machine gun or you can upgrade to the minigun, which is quite cool looking. Seating arrangement of the pickup is quite different from the regular one. Insurgent Pickup can hold in total 9 people, 6 in the same configuration as the normal Insurgent, and 2 extra people go in the back of the Insurgent Pickup bed and the other one guns the turret. It drives like the Insurgent and has almost the same top speed. And just for your knowledge, when you purchase Insurgent Pickup Custom, it will be only available as a Pegasus vehicle, but you can take the pickup to any of your garages and it will convert to the Insurgent Pickup Custom variant, which you can later upgrade in your MOC, Avenger or Arena War garage if you have purchased a special technician. A better version of the Insurgent is the Nightshot, which can withstand the same 27 homing rockets, but it is faster and handles better. Among those things, it has better armor against bullets if you add the window plates, which only leave this tiny gap where people can shoot you through. And I'm just showing the front window because even though the side windows have window plates, they are just cosmetic and you can shoot through them with no problem. You also have an option to have front mounted machine guns, which work pretty well for scaring cars out of the way. That's about all they can do unless you have a lot of time, only to blow up a regular car. And if you opted to have window plates, that machine gun is the only weapon you have since you can't use your weapons inside the car. But if you choose not to have the window plates, you can use your guns and throw sticky bombs out of the windows. It also, as I mentioned earlier, has great handling, almost as if it was a sports car, which makes it useful if you are doing missions or have to run away from an Oppressor Mark II griefer. All the vehicles mentioned before were more defensive vehicles. The TM02 Khanjali tank is a really great offensive vehicle with still good armor and it can withstand 8 homing rockets. It has a lot of offensive weaponry to choose from, so let's go over them all. The most important part is the main gun, and you have a few options for it. You can choose to have the standard tank cannon or choose to have railgun cannon, which has 20% faster projectile with double the effective range of the default cannon. You also get an option to have proximity mines, which will drop behind the tank and will get rid of all the unwanted tailgaters. But the weaponry doesn't end here. You can have 3 passengers and each of them will have their own weapons. Your front passenger gets a machine gun which comes with the tank, and your rear 2 passengers get grenade launchers which are on each side of the main turret and war grade. Khanjali is not a speed demon, but it is also not that slow, and the tracks help it to get over various terrain. Only real threats for this tank are the other tanks or Oppressor Mark IIs. So if you have 3 buddies with this tank, you can be the king of ground combat in your lobby. If you want to be the king of the air combat, you will have to have the Avenger, which can withstand a surprising 23 homing rockets. It is a VTOL aircraft which can fly like a helicopter or go into plane mode and fly like a regular plane. The pilot has access to machine guns and homing rockets, but all the more interesting stuff is at the cargo hold of the plane. It has 3 gun stations which control 3 explosive cannons. One is at the top, other on the front of the plane, and third one on the back. Interesting thing to note is that you can control and switch between all guns on any seat you want, but if you have one gun occupied by someone else, obviously you wouldn't be able to use that one. Inside you will also find a spot where you can store a thruster jetpack. Unfortunately, you will have to buy it separately when you are upgrading your Avenger. On the website, you can't use the thruster that you can buy from Warstock as a separate vehicle. On top of that, you have a gun workshop where you can upgrade some of the weapons and upgrade them to Mark II variant. You also have vehicle workshop inside where you can upgrade all your special vehicles. I haven't talked about flying capabilities, but the Avenger, when it's in the plane mode, flies really well, and it's faster than planes like Alkonos and Volatile, which are quite fast and also huge planes. This plane is awesome and has tons of cool upgrades, which makes it amazing. Another amazing option for armored vehicles are all the Imani tech cars, which look like normal civilian cars, but upgraded with armor plating they can withstand upwards of 12 homing rockets. But it doesn't really matter how many homing missiles they can withstand, because nobody will be able to lock onto your vehicle since all the Imani cars have Imani upgrades, which means that when you are in your agency garage, you can upgrade the cars with homing missile lock-on jam. It is absolutely wonderful since all the Oppressor Mark IIs, helicopters and even jets will have no real easy way of killing you since their homing rockets become useless. There are so many Imani cars and they are all great in different ways, and I have made a video about them which I will link down below. But I will recommend you buy either Virtue, Buffalo STX or Omni CGT because they all can withstand those 12 homing rockets and are also fast and fun. Virtue has to be one of my most favorite Imani vehicles since it is the quickest car in this game and you can maneuver around the city really quickly, which is helpful if you are getting chased and need to get away. But there is one vehicle which is still better than all the vehicles mentioned before. It is none other than the Toreador itself. Let's just get over with the stats, which don't look great withstanding only 6 homing rockets, but when you hear about this vehicle it will seem like a high number. The Toreador is an amphibious vehicle which can drive on land or go underwater. It also has rocket boosters on the back, which makes this car really rapid and fun to drive, and also makes it usable as a submarine since it has great top speed underwater. But the best part is its weapons. It has one of the best track and homing rockets in this game, which are really deadly for ground vehicles, but also for helicopters and even annoying Oppressor Mark IIs. It tracks with an absolute perfection and is the deadliest counter for Oppressor Mark II. It also has machine guns, which are great and will blow up a car in an instant, but with how good the missiles are, you will rarely use the machine guns. So this vehicle is easily the best you can get for GTA Online battles. It is fast, fun, has great weapons and good armor, which will keep you safe if anyone manages to get close to you. These were the best armored vehicles in this game, and now let's get into the boring stuff on how the armor works in this game. First, let's talk about how guns affect armor. For this video, I was only referring to homing rockets since they are often put on vehicles and you will be shot by them most often. But not all weapons deal the same amount of damage. There are a few categories of weapons which deal different damage. Low-powered weapons, which are the homing launcher, oppressor missiles and other vehicle-mounted missiles. High-powered, which are the RPG, grenades, grenade launcher, sticky bombs, pipe bombs, proximity mines, and MOC cannon, these weapons are almost 3 times more powerful than the low-powered weapons. Tank cannon, which is on the Rhino, Khanjali, or the APC tanks, and the cannons are almost 2 times more powerful than the high-powered weapons, or 6 times more powerful than the homing rockets. Explosive rounds, which are on Heavy Sniper Mark II variant, are close but not as destructive as the RPG. And the most powerful weapon in this game is on the anti-aircraft trailer with a dual 20mm flak cannon. This gun is twice as powerful as the tank cannon, or is the equivalent of 12 homing rockets, and it's insane. Now let's talk about armor. The armor on your vehicle works differently depending on if someone is in a vehicle or not. If you are not in your vehicle, your car is half as armored compared to when you are in your vehicle. In this video, I used information on armor when you are in the vehicle. So for example, if you are in your Nightshark, it can withstand those 27 homing rockets, but if you exit the vehicle, it will only withstand 13.5 homing rockets. I hope that clears things up. On top of that, the armor is different for some vehicles. For example, some cars that have an option to have armor plating, like the Imani Cars, you will be able to distinguish them by the armor on the doors. When vehicles have this type of armor, their windows will also be armored to bullets, but just for a short while until they break. And don't think that the rule of powerful weapons applies in every circumstance. For example, there are vehicles that can take the same amount of homing rockets and RPGs, even though RPGs are 3 times stronger than the homing rockets. Those vehicles are the Terabyte, the MOC trailer, all the 5 tanks, Rhino, APC, Khanjali, RC tank, and Scarab, then the Zaba, FH-1 Hunter, Akula, and the Savage helicopters. All these cars can take the same amount of RPGs and homing rockets. So that's it. Let me know which is your favorite armored vehicle, consider subscribing, and I will see you lovely people in the next one. Have a great day.